Hi, this is Mark from Three Little Wishes Photography, and today we're going to show you a couple of little techniques here that are associated to a layer in the layers dialog box. If this is not present on your screen, you can find it up the top here where it says window, and you'll see layers there. If I switch it off, it'll disappear. If I switch it back on, the layer box will turn up. Now, have you noticed here there's a padlock? And the reason why this is padlocked is that you can't do a lot of things. It's almost like a protected layer. Or it's the background, basically. It's the original image. And all these dialog boxes sitting above it will not be activated. And they are only activated when there is a layer or a new image sitting above the background. We're going to duplicate this layer or the background, and now you'll see these dialog boxes are all activated. Everything's there for you to use. Just letting you know that's a basic thing about Photoshop where the background is locked. But we're going to go back to our background. I'm going to dump that layer we've made, and we're just going to do one little adjustment here, which is to vignette off or accentuate the ducklings a little bit more by darkening off the outer zones of this photo, or the outer focus parts of the photo as well, and kind of lead you into the ducklings. Now I'm going to just use the burn tool on shadows just to pop that in here a little bit more, and over here, and you can see how now it's darkening off and it's leading you straight into the ducklings. Back to our move tool. Now we're going to use a selection tool, which is this rectangular one, rectangular marquee tool. There's a few options, but we're going to use the rectangular one, and we're going to select just these sort of sharper areas of the image, probably about there. And there's going to be a boundary between that selection, between here and there. There's going to be quite a defined area after we adjust this. And to soften that boundary, what we do is go under where it says select, because you've made a selection. We refine the edge. Now in the latest CC, this has been hidden for some reason, but it's still there, and I think you can do it under the modifier in the latest CC. But we're going to refine the edge, and we're going to feather it, so you can see the boundary now has become quite defined, or quite soft, so you will not see a defined edge between that selection and the original background image. So we say OK. Now we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it, and that will become, when we paste it, it'll become a layer sitting above the background. But if we just paste it, it will be in a different position. So what we're going to do is, instead of just pasting, we're going to go paste special, and you paste in place, and that will be in exactly the same position as in the background. Now we're going to do something quite weird here. We're going to sharpen it. So under filter, you'll see down here it says sharpen, and you'll see unsharp mask and quite a few other selections which people use mostly. But we're going to show you quite an interesting technique called other, and it says the high pass. Now with the high pass, when it happens, it kind of freaks people out because everything turns grey and it's almost like a little etching. Now if you have a high res image, you'll find between 2 and 3 works quite well, but because this image is relatively low resolution, and I really want to show you the difference, what happens here, we're going to give it just slightly above 7, so you can see this etching quite clearly. Normally it should be a bit more subtle than this. We'll say OK, and now nothing has seemed to have happened. It's still grey. But what's going to happen is we go under this little box up here where it says normal, and we'll drop it down to a thing called overlay. And I'm going to show you what happens when we switch this overlay, or this particular layer one, off, and you'll see the sharpening has disappeared and it comes back again. So that's just one little area that we've actually sharpened, and you can see the feathers are far more defined by using that. Some people like to use the soft light. It's a little bit more subtle. It's not quite as dramatic as the overlay. but we're going to leave it on overlay just to show what we've done here. Now once you're happy with that, we merge that layer back onto the background, and the simple way up here where it says under layer, you make a flatten the image, or if you've got multiple images or multiple layers, you can just merge that layer down. But because we've only got one, we'll flatten the image, and that's it. That's how you sharpen your selected area in a photograph.